Today on All Out Brick, we're going to be continuing our journey through Voya Nui with Axonn. We're going to build the set, review it, and then give out a score. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Christian from All Out Brick. Welcome to another Mata Nui Monday. As always, the best way to tag along with us every week is to subscribe and turn on notifications. This week, we'll be building Axonn, which was released as a part of the 2006 line of Bionicle, and actually marks our first Titan set from this 2006 line. Axonn is a powerful, armored member of the Order of Mata Nui, which is an organization dedicated to serving the will of Mata Nui. While the Toa were on the hunt for the Piraka and the Mask of Life, Axonn was in his own battle against both the Piraka and Brutaka, who we'll be getting into next week. He ended up gifting the Toa Inika Zamor spheres that helped them to defeat the Piraka. Taking a look at the packaging, the front of the box generally matches what we've gotten so far for 2006 Bionicle. We've got this light white gray background, and there's a silhouette of Voya Nui in the back. Axonn, of course, is in this very triumphant stance, looking quite menacing. We've got his name of the set. It's got its own little logo, which is pretty cool too, in the bottom right here. And the bottom left, we've got ages 8 to 16 and the set number 8733. The left side of the box gives us a preview of a combination model you can make by combining two of the 2006 Titans. The right side of the box gives us Axonn's logo again, and we have another image of Axonn. This is the same pose as we get on the front of the box. The top of the box gives us an advertisement for the Bionicle Heroes video game, which was coming out in winter of 2006-2007. And on the back of the box, we have a bunch of different images that highlight the new features and pieces that are used in Axonn's set. Of course, we have him holding his axe, which is kind of the main part of the back of the box. We have his mask, his hand, and some new pieces in his feet, which we'll obviously see how well those do. And the bottom right here, there's a little shadow of Brutaka lurking in the background. This is a pretty cool tease for what we're going to get into next week. The 2006 Titans have been receiving quite a bit of hype as we've been working our way through the Bionicle line, so my expectations are pretty high for this one. Will the expectations be met though? I don't know. Let's build this set and find out. After 25 minutes, I've completed Axonn's build. Really great stuff here, guys. Of course, we have this great bulky look to him. He's honestly not that much taller than a Toa Inika or a Piraka, and he could even be the same size if you ask me. But what really separates him from the rest of those sets and elevates him to this Titan set is the amount of extra detail and, of course, extra parts that we get as a part of his assembly. There's a lot more detail, a lot thicker limbs here. Of course, we've got the arms are nice and thick up top. Great assembly in the arms. If you remember any of my criticism for previous Titan models, it's that we really needed bigger arms, better detail in the arms, and boy does Axonn really deliver that and set the tone for what we're going to get for the rest of 2006. Same thing in the legs. We've been getting thicker legs for a while now. These are great as well. We've got a nice new design going on in here and some great piece selection. And of course, you know, when you go down to the feet, I kind of am not a fan of those. I'll talk about those later though. But the rest of the legs and then of course the arms, we've got great detail. At the ends of the arms, we've got some awesome hand pieces. We've got individual fingers for Axonn, and this is one of the things that I think really separates him and makes him just feel so much bigger than a Toa Inika or a Piraka when he's really not that much bigger. The hands just add this big sense of scale to him. It makes him feel so much larger, and the articulating fingers work well here. You know, I think on a general model, these hands could look a little bit too big, but since Axonn has the thicker arms and the thicker like upper and lower arms, it feels right that his hands are this big as well. In his right hand, we've got an incredible weapon design. We've got some brand new axe pieces. Of course, it's Axonn. We have to have an axe. It's in his freaking name. The axe is incredible though. Great new piece molds, and they really combine those axe pieces with these Rakshi weapon parts, and they work great together. Very seamless design, and then it sticks into the hand with like a single Technic piece, and it fits perfectly and no issues with it at all. And I love the look. You can tell that Axonn is going to be dealing out a ton of damage with this axe. The torso has some pretty cool armor sculpting here. These are using Toa Inika parts, so call back all the way back to like 2002. We're using these parts again, and they look good. They look very, very good for what they are. I think we could have used some new ones, maybe update those sooner rather than later, but they still look pretty nice. And then moving right above it, we've got a great brand new mask mold in silver color. This one extends like a little bit further back. It feels a little bit more spherical as a mask. I really like the design of it. Really separates Axonn from, I think, any other previous models we've gotten. He's got just a little bit of extra detail and some little bit more of like extensions on the end of the mask here. We've also got these Metru eyes again, and boy am I glad that we've got those. I think with the Piraka and then the Toa Inika, we had the eyes that were like the same across the board here, so it would have been disappointing to get something like that again. We went to a callback all the way back to the Metru eyes, and it works great for Axonn. He's got these bright green eyes illuminating through the front of the mask. Wouldn't have hunted it any other way. Perhaps the best thing about this set is kind of in line with his articulation. Of course, we have great articulation with Axonn. You know, at this point, articulation isn't really that great of a bright spot, but Axonn's articulation kind of is, because it changes the game for Titan articulation. Taking a look at these piston pieces that are located at the ankle, they really serve as Achilles tendons for our Titan sets, and they just add so much extra stability and rigidness to these legs. We had a couple cases with those earlier Titan sets where like the lower legs would slip out or they just wouldn't sit still and they were tough to pose. This solves the problem completely. This is the perfect solution I think they could have gone with. It adds so much stability to the model, and I feel like I can pose him in so many more ways because now I know that I've got stable legs. We never had anything like this before in terms of the leg stability. I'm so excited now to see the rest of not just the 2006 Titans, but all the Titan sets moving forward, because now that I know that we have this piece available to us, I expect nothing but the best stability from this point going forwards. But just like every model, Axonn's got some downsides. First one I want to talk about, I hinted at a little bit earlier, and that's the feet. The feet to me are just a little bit too squared off on the toes. We do have like this foot part that's on top of it that kind of gives it a little bit better shape, but it looks a little bit too square. I think we could have really done a little better on these feet, and it really would have helped tie everything together. Maybe a little bit of a different assembly. I think they probably could have fixed that a little bit. The only other thing I had an issue with is the shoulder joints. I think one of the things I was afraid of when we were talking about the earlier like Titan sets, and I said, oh, we could use some better arm like detail, bigger arms, is that, well, if it's too much weight, then the arms are going to have problems. We've hit that point with Axonn a little bit here, especially his right arm with the axe in his hand. I think we could have used rubberized friction joints instead of the general Technic ball socket joints that we use on his shoulders. It's just not enough friction. The arms kind of tend to fall down when you try to pose them up, and especially with the axe hand, it's really tough to really pose the arm the way you would want to. So I think if we just swap those out with some rubberized joints, problem solved, and we've got perfect arms. However, we don't get that in Axonn, so that's something I'm looking for as an improvement in later Bionicle Titan sets. Overall, fantastic start to the 2006 Titan waves. Axonn really got us off to a good start. I mean, there's so much love about this model. His size is not going to blow you away. He's, like I said, he might not even be bigger than a Piraka or a Toa Inika set, probably just by a little bit, but he's really not that much taller. Where he has it going for him is his bulk, his detail, the brand new piece molds, and of course, the brand new stability that can really change up how you're going to pose this model in a display. I love it. There's so much to like with Axonn, and there's really no big downsides. They're both kind of ticky-tacky downsides, and yes, not being able to pose the arms the way you would like could be a little bit prohibitive depending on like how you want to use the model. But for me, I don't really have that big of an issue with it. It just takes off a little bit, of course. If you're looking to get your hands on Axonn, and boy do I recommend you get your hands on Axonn if you're a fan of Bionicle. Really highly recommend. If you are in this market, you're going to pay around like $70 for him in used condition, and in brand new sealed condition, you're going to pay about $300 and above. So very big difference there, you know, $70 used, $300 brand new sealed. Yeah, go use condition on it. I went use condition on it, and I don't see anything that I'm concerned with. It's not like there's any rubber bands or anything. It's kind of just like a static model. Of course, those rubberized joints can be a concern, but to be quite honest with you, I haven't had that many problems with the rubberized joints in quite some time. It felt like here and there we had a couple models that did, but for the most part, it seems to be more hit than miss, so I'm not terribly concerned about them. But if you yourself are worried about them, you could just go on Bricklink and buy those parts, just those parts in new condition, and then go ahead and buy Axonn used. think that's the best way to go if you ask me. As for a score, I'm going to give Axonn an 8.5. Like I said, I really recommend this model. He is awesome. He's got this incredible bulk to him, this great menacing look, and you can just tell he's not completely aligned with the heroes. I mean, he is, but he just feels as if he's a separate entity, which of course he is. I really think they did a great job of translating that part of his lore into his set appearance, and there's so much going on with this set that I like. There's not a ton of brand new molds. I mean, we get them in the Axe, and we get some exclusive colors of the Piraka chest plate armor across within the build, so there's some cool stuff in there, and then the mask mold is great. I just think there's a lot to like, and if you're someone looking for a Titan set, look, they're all going to be pretty expensive. Why not guarantee that you're going to get a great one and go with Axonn? Of course, we're going to see where we go. I mean, heck, next week I could be bashing Axonn depending on how good Brutaka is. I've heard some great things about him, and it's been a really long time since I built him. But let's focus back on Axonn here. 8.5, that's your review. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to be the first to see all of our future content. Also, be sure to check us out on our website and on our Facebook and Instagram pages. Until next time, stay bricking.